Stories that are untold, underreported, and all-out inspirational. Carey Pena reports.
Hey guys, I'm Carey Pena. Thank you for listening to Carey Pena Reports on iTunes and Stitcher, and for watching our live feeds on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, you can always see our shows and all of our content on inspiredmedia360.com. Today, we're talking about how to overcome the odds, no matter how great they might be. And this can apply to your health, to your job, whatever you might be going through right now today. No one knows this better than our guest, Teri Bode. Teri, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You know, some time ago, I did a story on you, and that story went viral. And you continue to inspire people with your story. So I wanted to invite you in here today to be on the podcast. Let's start at the beginning and talk about what you've been going through. So you were living a great life.
Oh,
and you were a second grade teacher. You had a beautiful young daughter, and Cardinals Cheerleader. Things were going along just perfectly. And then the unexpected happened.
Yes.
Tell me about that day.
2000. I got a phone call from my doctor who had told me that they had found something in my breast. I said, okay, is it anything I need to worry about? He said, no, we'll do an ultrasound and check it out. I was fine with that. Went in for the ultrasound. They told me I could wait 3 months. My doctor wasn't happy with that. He says, no, you're in surgery tomorrow. Okay, so went into surgery, found out I had ductal carcinoma. Invasive, meaning that it was in the ducts and it had spread a little bit outside of the ducts. So my cure at the time was a mastectomy. I was so overwhelmed with all of this news. You hear cancer and you immediately think, you know, this is a terminal illness. How am I going to fight this?
And you have a 2-year-old daughter at the time.
Yes, 2-year-old daughter. I was overwhelmed. My mother was with me when I got the news and told me, we can do this, we can fight this. Went into surgery, had my mastectomy, was told everything is great. We've got it all. No treatment needed because all of my lymph nodes were clear. So if you want to say breast cancer can be a good thing, that was a good thing in that my lymph nodes were clear. Yeah. So it was a very treatable, slow-growing cancer.
So you felt at that time that you had dodged the bullet.
You got it. Yep.
And then what happened?
Well, after all of that, the mastectomy, the reconstruction, the skin expanders that I had to wear, it was months of rebuilding. It's just not a surgery that you can do in one day. It was 2002, and a funny thing, I was feeling along the side of my incision line on my mastectomy side, and I felt 2 little bumps again, pea-sized, very dense, strong, lumps. And I thought, you've got to be kidding me. This is the breast that I had a mastectomy on. Went to my doctor. He felt it and said, we're in surgery tomorrow. Same words as before. I said, okay, let's do this. I was a little confused because I didn't think that you could have lumps again after you've had a complete mastectomy. But because there was some breast tissue left.
They didn't get it all.
Correct. I didn't have treatment. And I was told that I'd be okay without treatment. And so we went in. These 2 lumps were lobular breast cancer, which is a different kind than the first that I was diagnosed with. And lobular cancer tends to mirror in the second breast. So we checked the second breast. Everything was fine. I've been scanned on that, and for now, we're good. I had radiation after that. I was confident with my doctor telling me, the radiation is it. And it was it for, 9 years, 10 years, when it got a little crazy in my life.
The cancer spread.
Yes. I always thought that breast cancer was limited to your breasts. A lot of women think breast cancer is limited to your breast. When you go through this, you realize that's not the case. 2011, I experienced severe backaches. I was still teaching second grade. I kept going every morning with these backaches. I could barely walk. I was teaching a hip-hop dance class after school to make ends meet. And I noticed it was almost like a paralyzing feeling. You know, and again, I would let it ride and continue to just fight through. I did this for a good 3 weeks. One morning I woke up, I took a step, I collapsed. My daughter found me. I was vomiting. What I can remember from there is going back to my oncologist and finding out that through many scans and many blood tests that my calcium level was through the roof, which can cause brain damage and things and delirious feelings, which at that point I was feeling. The cancer spread to my spine, my ribs, my collarbone, my skull. I had 9 compression fractures. That was the pain.
When you heard this news,
Yes.
I can't even imagine what that feels like.
You know, when you get diagnosed with cancer, it's a scary thing. When you are told years later that it is growing and spreading, you immediately think death. That is exactly what I thought. I thought, you know, you hear so many horror stories about people with their cancer entering stage 4 that don't make it. I was in the hospital, 2 months, 90 pounds, couldn't walk, in a gigantic turtle-sized shell back brace, morphine drips. I developed double pneumonia, went into a coma for 4 days, was told that I may not wake up from that. My mother had my last rites sent. A priest came in. Of course, I didn't realize all of this. The doctor said, you know, if we can beat this pneumonia, we'll get back to treating the cancer. Well, 4 days later, my eyes opened. And I remember my daughter, you know, looking at me, and immediately her relationship and mine, we're always laughing, joking, this and that. And I remember my eyes opening and seeing her face with this stick-like thing with a sponge on it because I couldn't have any water. But I remember waking up saying, I was so thirsty, I'm so thirsty, I'm so thirsty, and with a tube down my throat, mind you. And she giving me that sponge so I could like kind of get a little bit of water. But again, the fact that I woke up from that double pneumonia made me think, you know, I'm here. I'm here for a reason. Let's fight this cancer. I can do this. Mind you, I didn't know how to walk at that time because of my spine and ribs. So that really, yeah.
Your journey since that time has been incredible, and a lot of people in Arizona and now around the country are familiar with your story because you post a lot of selfies.
Yes.
A lot of selfies when you're at chemo, smiling. What is it that you are trying to share with the world about your journey and how you're really taking it day by day? Because your cancer right now, it's incurable cancer. You have to go to chemo. I mean, it's indefinite.
Right.
So take me inside sort of your mindset and how you managed to show up at chemo every week and go through the sickness and the suffering that you go through with a smile on your face, a coffee cup, inspirational phrases, a cute dog, your cute daughter. Tell me about that.
You know, it wasn't like that in the beginning when I heard that, you know, I would be on chemo for life. And it wasn't definite that it was going to do its job. It was until I realized and told myself, okay, this is my new life now. This is my new life. This is what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to take it like almost a job that I've got to go to, and do what's necessary to work at life and keep going. So
did you want to keep working all along, or were there moments where you're like, I can't do this?
I wanted to, but I could not move. I couldn't walk. They told me I may never be able to walk again because of all the compression fractures in my spine, and because those compression fractures could very well hit my spinal cord, paralyzing me. So lying in that hospital bed, and realizing that I did just fight double pneumonia, we need to do this. I need to get this brace on. I'm here for a reason. I need to take that first step. I'm not going to let it get to me. And I realized at that point, this is my life now. I love life. I have to learn how to handle this new life with stage 4 cancer, realizing that any moment that cancer can spread even more and may not be able to be treated.
What has this taught you about life?
Life is precious. A lot of people take things for granted. I did. Tying my shoes, getting dressed in a snap because I didn't have back braces to put on.
You were a Cardinals cheerleader. You were doing incredible routines in the middle of thousands and thousands of people.
Exactly. All of that, the dancing and things. I can't do, too much of that anymore because of the pain and things. So I had to learn, that dance life that I knew is not the same. I do what I can. My mind, I'll tell you, it can play tricks on you. Number one, you're diagnosed with an incurable disease. Number two, the things that you love to do, you can't really do all of them the way you used to. And like you said, that was my life. Dance, everything, teaching, running.
But what strikes me so much about your story, Teri, is that it strikes me that you've learned to love life differently.
Yes, exactly. I appreciate the small things. Waking up, my eyes opening in the morning, wow, that's a blessing. When I'm hiking the mountain with my brace on, in case my doctor is listening, and very, very, very easy hikes, just noticing things and realizing, the beautiful flowers and fresh air and just spreading sunshine to people, and maybe seeing someone who's having a hard day and tell them, say hi and just kind of smile as much as you can.
Why has it been important for you to share your story?
It is a big mental game. Being positive completely changes the way you feel internally, the way you look outside. And my goal is just to really reach out to women to maybe not sweat the small stuff so much. Take each day as a blessing. Really listen to your body. Had I had done that after my second diagnosis and listened to those little pains and things, maybe I could have caught it before it took the 9 compression fractures and the 3 broken ribs. But you can win, you can fight. You got to get your mind in a positive place, whatever it takes to do that.
And your beautiful daughter, Mariah, is sitting in the studio alongside your mom, who I adore as well. When you look at Mariah, and she's now in college and flourishing, do you ever get overwhelmed, though, with fear about being able to see her get married? And
Yes. I'm not going to lie, every single day, I wake up with that thought behind my head, in the back of my mind. It's almost impossible not to. I know I have cancer. I know I have stage 4 cancer. I know at any moment it can spread. I'm scanned every 90 days, and those results waiting changes constantly. And yes, looking at my daughter and realizing what I've been diagnosed with, I pray each day to be able to see her become this amazing pharmacist in 4 years, and to watch her get married. And gosh, to be a grandmother would be my ultimate. But I don't know. And my wonderful doctor, he doesn't know. No one knows.
Even though what you've gone through is unbelievably difficult, and there are incredibly hard days, you still fill your life with a lot of joy and inspiration and fun.
Yes.
And that's important to you.
It's very important. Yes, it's hard. The pain that I feel in my spine and ribs every day. I choose to let that slide. I choose to put a smile on my face. I choose to cherish the fact that I'm alive. I'm alive. And the fact that people come to me and say, you know what, Teri, if it wasn't for your story and what you do, and in this room every 21 days, I would have quit long ago. I had cancer patients coming to me telling me I was going to stop my chemo and just let it go. But because of me, they did not. And these people, don't have a lifelong treatment like I do. So just knowing that I inspire people, other women, men, that charges me so much. And that's the joy that I get.
Well, keep posting those selfies.
You betcha.
I can't get enough of those selfies.
You betcha.
I love it. Teri, thank you so much for being here and being brave enough to continue sharing your most personal story.
Yes.
It is truly helping so many people.
That brings joy to me, Carey. Thank you. And
we should give a shout to your doctors at Ironwood Cancer Center. Right?
Yes.
Incredible people.
Incredible.
And I don't oftentimes think that doctors and nurses behind the scenes get enough credit for the work that they do.
Without my chemo nurses and my doctor, I don't know where I'd be. They're amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thanks to all of you for watching and for listening. By the way, if you'd like to see the story that I did previously with Teri, I highly recommend checking it out on our site, inspiredmedia360.com. You can always follow us on YouTube and Facebook at Inspired Media 360. Today's show produced and engineered by Shannon Hernandez, brought to you by Inspired Media 360. Until next time, stay inspired.